Welcome to Office Hours with Arrow, a LinkedIn Live event hosted by Arrow leaders who care about what senior living looks like. I'm your host and producer, Rachel Sheehan, and today with me, I am so excited to have Gregory, Elizabeth, and Krista to talk about Memory Care Art Month. So, before we get into that, I do just want to, I know Greg, Elizabeth, you've both been here before, but Krista's new, so let's just do introductions all around. Gregory, will you tell us what you do for Arrow and how long you've been with the company?
Hello, everyone. My name is Gregory Dierlam. I'm a managing director of marketing for Arrow Senior Living. I've been here 9 years and soon to be 10. So it's been a great time.
Almost a decade. This is so exciting. Oh my gosh. I love that. Very cool. Elizabeth, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Elizabeth Thompson. I'm the Senior Regional Director of Memory Care, and I will have been here 6 years in November.
That's so exciting. We need to throw a party because that's coming up and I love it. And Krista, how about you?
Yep, I'm the Memory Care Director, Boulevard Wentzville, and been here for 8 months.
I love it. So this was your first art month.
Yes,
So,
very
and
first.
you did it so well from what I've seen on social media. So I'm excited to dive into that and talk through it. I do want to start, I know I'll say the brainchild behind Art Month, I have to say, is Gregory. So I did want, Gregory, could you just explain to us what Art Month is and, why we do this tradition every year?
Absolutely. So Art Month, this is, my gosh, I think our 4th year coming into our Art Appreciation Month. And it really is that. It's definitely a month that is, or I'm sorry, a focus. We do a weekly focus, one each week of the month, really focused on art. And so the inspiration, I feel like we do music and a lot of other creative forms within the community very well. I mean, we have amazing things happening, in music. It's like we can do this for art as well. So I think art is very empowering for sure, and it really is. We saw the impact of music, and it's like let's do this for art. So it really is a focus of just art is creative, art is expressive, art is a great outlet. And just bringing that into our communities and seeing our residents and our our memory care support partners just work together and create these beautiful things has been really wonderful. So everyone's capable of art. Everyone can make art. Art doesn't have to be realistic to be beautiful. And so it was really a lot of those things that just, kind of like started off the thought process and kind of like the little brainchild of us doing this in the communities. And I have an art background, so it was just a natural thing.
Yeah, and so like your normal job day to day, obviously, I know we work on the same team, but for everybody listening, Gregory's job is in marketing world and not always directly connected to the residents. So I think, you can speak to that. This is kind of a cool connection for you, I'd assume.
Right. Absolutely. I started in sales with the company and was working a lot more hand in hand with the residents and with the communities. And so shifting to marketing, there's just like this great connection that I'm able to maintain with the communities and our staff and residents through this amazing initiative and tradition that we've done the last 4 years. So very fortunate.
Yeah. I love that. Elizabeth, do you want to add anything like why you think art is so beneficial to our memory care residents?
Oh gosh, many reasons it's beneficial. It can reduce anxiety and stress. It helps build that social connection. It can be a form of communication when they're no longer able to communicate, boosting their confidence and providing purpose. But I think the biggest thing is, it shifts the focus from what's lost to what's still possible. And I love that.
Yeah, and I know you've mentioned to me before about how, there are some individuals who never really cared about art and now they do, or vice versa. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's interesting. I can't count the times that I've been told, "Oh, my mom or my dad will, or my husband or wife will never be interested in doing any of that kind of stuff." And then getting their hands involved in the art projects, they're just so invested in it and a part of it. And I just think that's really, really neat. So you don't have to be an artist to be a part of these events and really enjoy them.
Yeah, and Krista, for you, like you saw it firsthand this whole month, what do you think about the meaning for your residents?
Oh, I just ditto everything that Elizabeth just said. Just to see the joy on their face. At first, it's like, you want me to do what? Like, I don't know how to paint, and you just hand them the paintbrush, you put it in front of them, and next thing you know, they just start creating, and it's just the neatest thing. I mean, I just really enjoy the whole process of seeing the kind of back up to just embrace it. It's wonderful.
That's awesome. I'm so excited. We're going to show, for everybody listening, we're going to show a bunch of pieces here in a minute, but I did want to dive in a little bit. Gregory and Elizabeth, you got to work so closely planning this all out for our team. So can you kind of Gregory, just walk us through like the week by week, what did that look like planning out each of these projects?
Well, first of all, Elizabeth came to the table with great inspiration, and a lot of the artists a couple of them were artists I just wasn't really that familiar with. So I have to say, my hats off to you, Elizabeth, for some of the great inspiration this year. But I met with Elizabeth and her regional team, and we really just had a collaborative session. It's really how we started. We talked through a variety of different artists and a lot of different art mediums, which I think is really important. We've talked about already the creative process and how everyone can be an artist and everyone can express themselves. And again, for interest, I think it's very important for there to be varied mediums, because certain residents will love working in certain mediums, or will find them just more natural or engaging and enjoyable and fun. So really, we started with that session in really just planning and coming together as a team. We are always very aware of, just like the artists that we select, they're adult artists. It's always our goal to create and produce art that it may be inspired by children's artwork, because a lot of famous artists are inspired by the innocence of children's work. But we really spent time talking through the artists, all of them working artists, again, doing a variety of mediums. But we do full lesson plans out to where I think that's really instrumental in the planning process of it. For each week, who are we talking about? Who are we learning about? What supportive materials and videos and artist biographies and things of that nature, what can we really pull together? And then there's also those conversations about, through just like the smallest of accommodations, just ensuring that all residents can participate in the projects that we plan. And then it's always very important, I think, as we talk through the process of having our memory care directors create the art themselves, have an example to share. It's always really hard, I think, to propose something happen, that you haven't tried yourself. So it's like, get in there, try it yourself. And then also through just like all of the pieces of the lesson planning itself, again, art education major coming out here, but like going through that lesson planning and pulling the selections, pulling the materials together, but then also saying at the end of the day, this is art. We're creating art. So this is your guideline, but please use your creativity and the creativity of your residents to make it bigger and even grander than we envision. And you'll be seeing the results of that in just a while. So that really is the planning process. We talk it out, and then we put it all in workable lesson plan. We share through Teams with visuals and video links, and then our memory care directors can just take it and run with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible. I did also, while you were talking, a question came through. If you guys have off the top of your head, any of you have a personal favorite art project that was done either this year or the past, and then also a resident's favorite. So do we have any resident's favorite this year? So Krista, you could answer that one. But Gregory, Liz, do you have a favorite that we've done?
I really love the Chihuly bowls. I just loved all the color. We took tissue paper and balloons and Mod Podge and created what looked like a glass bowl. And I thought those were really, really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Gregory, do you have a favorite?
For this year, I'm completely surprised. It's what every community did and the variety of result that we achieved in Spiral Jetty. Like those, it's been one of my favorites so far this year.
Stay tuned. We're going to show you all some pictures. But first, Krista, do you think there was a favorite in your community this year?
Yeah, I really think it was the black and white photography capturing their emotions. I was so surprised just to see it's like actors and actresses coming out. And I'm like, it was just very eye-opening, and they really thoroughly enjoyed it.
That's awesome. I love that. And that's something you could do again in the future, and if they had so much fun with it. So let's show some of this because I think that'll help people get a visual. But Gregory, you want to talk through these? We'll have an this is our inspiration picture. You can speak more on this.
Okay, so this was week 1, and we started with photography. It's not messy. It's one of the reasons we start with photography. It's a great art project for us to kind of just like settle into Art Appreciation Month and really get our feet wet. So this is a performance artist. Her name is Marina Abramovic, and she is a Serbian artist, and she does a lot of very dramatic, theatrical, interacting, engaging performance pieces that are filmed. And then in this instance, it was really captured in stills, where it's all about leaning into the emotion and the expression of emotion, primarily through facial expression. And so we challenged our memory care directors this week to really emulate and work with our residents to showcase their emotions, all emotions, happy, sad, more like playful, somber, serenity. Again, yes, I completely agree. These just blew me away this year. They're amazing. I love this one. This one just makes me laugh. That one. This is beautiful too. But the goal with this was really to capture the moments in time and then create a collage, which you'll see come together toward the end.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that's what's so cool is like at the art shows, you kind of display them all, and we'll show some pictures of that too. But I know you mentioned the Spiral Jetty being one of your favorites, so I'm going to throw that up too. So this is an inspiration picture, and you want to talk about this one, Greg?
Sure. This is a work by Robert Smithson. He's an American artist, and he's known for his sculptural and land art. This is a huge earthwork in Utah in the Great Salt Lake, and it's probably his most famous work. It was constructed and finished in the 1970s, and really the inspiration here was the work itself. There was an opportunity for us to explore the area visually through virtual tours, and the memory care directors, their supplies were really just rocks that they could create their own spiral jetty, or again, you'll see some amazing interpretations of this, and some were within our memory care courtyards. Some we leaned into the earth part, and we built our work on actual dirt. This just made me smile. A beautiful interpretation of Spiral Jetty, and just our extremely proud residents in their finished works is always great. So
I do have to go back to one. Krista, can you tell it? This was yours. And I have to point out, like, I love that you didn't, you weren't stuck to a certain medium with this one. There was some nature, there was some painting. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I really just started gearing it towards just being person-centered. I wanted to just offer them what I felt would suit them. So I just put out a whole bunch of different choices and brought them up. And like Gregory said, making one beforehand to show them, that really helped so they could have a good idea of what they were creating. But yeah, it was really neat just watching them go up to the table and pick leaves and feathers and rocks, and or maybe they were just going to pick the paintbrush. It was really neat to do that.
Yeah. And I know the one with the yellow and black, can you kind of explain that one to us?
Yeah, that one, an important part of creating this art is asking them to tell the story. And so after she painted that, she told me, she said, "You see this in the center? It's black, and that's the darkness." And she said, and then the light, the yellow is starting to come out. And she goes, she goes, "Give me some gray paint. I need gray too." And so she just kept going and going. And she was like, "You see, the darkness is fading, and now it's gray, and now it's turning blue." So then she just started telling me all through while she was creating it. It was very beautiful. It was very moving, just to hear what was going on in her emotions, expressing that.
Yeah, and that moment of connection, it also brought like you closer to her, which I think is incredible. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. And then with week 3, this is the inspo pick. Gregory, you want to talk about it?
All right. So this gentleman, his name is Tim Kelly, and he started what he refers to as the Puzzle Project in 2009. So he's been around for a while, but this project really began in New Jersey at a teen arts festival, and it has expanded over the years to spread throughout the US and worldwide. And the entire idea about this piece, like one of his main workshops are really just called Art is Good, which I think that's a really a wonderful thing that we can all agree on. But the puzzle project is really about creating an about me puzzle piece. So in this particular week, all residents received a puzzle piece, and they were able to customize that to just reflect themselves. It could be drawn, painted, using collage. Again, my heart is full just with the creativity of our resident services directors and their interpretation of this, and just using so many mediums and really expressing who our residents are, or helping them to just like show who they are and interpret that into a puzzle piece. And then again, this one is all about collaboration, because it's a collaborative work, because all of us make one big beautiful piece of artwork through our individual pieces.
And Krista, this one was yours. So I know there's got to be some stories here. Do you want to share anything about your puzzle making?
Yeah. Well, first it was the joy of watching them choose what to do. And it was a lot of laughs. And then they're like, "Hey, can you go get me this? And I want to do that." It was really that puzzle project was really fun to do. But the one in the orange one, I wanted to specifically tell you about that one. That is in the upper left, it's kind of the center. And but one of my residents was in the Air Force. And so he just simply just wanted that on there. And then he asked me for a pen. And so got him an ink pen, and he wrote Wild Blue, I believe it was, on there, and told me the story about it. Well, fast forward a couple weeks, I guess, and we go to the art show, and he's walking through it, and he sees his piece, and he starts singing the song, the theme song that they would do for the Air Force. And it was very moving just to see him just be inspired again, through art.
Oh my gosh, that makes me like start to cry. Thank you for sharing that. Oh my goodness, this is so neat because I mean, you obviously knew that about him already, but just seeing that deep connection, how he feels like that is who he is
Yes.
huge. Very
Yes.
cool. And then moving on, this one is very unique and fun. I do have to say, I applaud you guys this year, especially because I feel like the projects are so diverse and so different. And it's just been so fun to watch. So this last week, Gregory is going to talk about the inspiration here. This is probably my favorite though.
Okay, I'm sure Elizabeth will have something to say about this artist because this is definitely one that she brought to the table. So this is a Japanese artist, by the name of Shiraga, and he founded. He was one of the founding members of a very avant-garde art group that was formed right after World War II and the bombing of Japan, and it's called the Gutai art movement or art group. And they were really inspired by, I think, because there was so much destruction around them, they really just wanted to push the envelope of art and kind of destroy and throw away any traditional methods of creating art, especially in painting. So he would paint with his feet. And in the picture on the upper left, he's actually suspended from a rope over the canvas and used his feet to paint. And so we stuck to a palette primarily of, or started the inspiration through a palette of more traditional colors or Shiraga colors that he would use, red and black and white. But again, our communities were challenged and encouraged to step outside the box, introduce other colors or other techniques to create the art. And again, this is Gutai, so it's no holds barred kind of approach to art making. So these were some of the results, some beautiful and some even a little bit more on the messy side. But again, it was very much about expression and emotions, because it's the expression through the body. We started with facial expressions, and then we really ended up on a more physical and body, just using the body to create art. So Elizabeth, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, no, that was one of the reasons I really liked it, was it was just so outside of the box. And again, we tend to put our memory care residents in a box, and that we don't want that. And so just the way that he totally took down any walls and barriers with art, and then the movement that was creating this artwork, I thought was really cool for our residents too, to be able to, whether it was moving their hands or moving their feet, but that movement piece I thought was really important too.
Yeah, which I want to show a never before seen video, Krista's residents painting with their feet. So here we go. Oh, hold on.
Try it now. Awesome. All right. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Rub-a-dub-dub.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I just love it. That was so cool. So Krista, tell us, like, when you heard we were going to paint with our feet, what were you thinking?
Yeah, that when I heard that was my least favorite at the time. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. We have to paint with our feet. And so I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to do something, a little bit cleaner. And I talked to my, at our daily meeting, talked to the team, and I just had a lot of encouragement. Just go for it. Just do it. Get their feet in it, just see what happens. So we went for it. And yeah, it was, it was a total night and day for me, because I just thought, no way. And I ended up loving it.
That's awesome. I know I'm smiling so big, so I'm very grateful to your team for pulling that off. That's awesome. I did want to throw this up. That might have been your answer, but Charlie did ask which project was the most difficult to prepare for and present to the residents. So which one would you say?
Which one was most difficult? I mean, it's probably between that and the puzzle project, just to get them, to keep going with it. But the painting, some of them, like so I thought best way to do it, put them in a wheelchair, wheel them up, and then squirt the paint and see what they do. And so we started with some that were braver, and but it had to be a lot of encouraging, and then there was a lot of laughs. So it probably was the most challenging. I had one person just put basically her big toe in it and put her foot back up and said, "I'm done." So probably that one.
I love that. Hey, she tried, right?
Yeah,
So I love it. And then all of this too, I love how this ends with an art show at the end too. So I did want to just show a couple pictures from your art show specifically. But I just love like this one so Deidre, there's the resident services director and then a resident kind of doing the emotions again. But then also these reactions just from staff members, I think is huge. And so I didn't know if you want to talk about that too. I know you mentioned how people are still talking about it today. Do you want to talk about your art show?
Yeah, and that one there, where that's our director of wellness. I mean, she was tearing up. I mean, she came up to it and just teared up just to see it all. And the other one, he was walking by and didn't even really know about the art show. And I said, "Hey, stop and look." And he was like, "Wow, that is really neat." But yeah, I ran into somebody today, and we had our art show last week, that they were like, it was so wonderful. And that was one of our staff. And then I've had the family response has been amazing. Like, they are so grateful, really so amazed at what the product, the end result of what they created. And they're asking for, can I have copies of those photos? I had people ask for, can we buy them? So yeah, the response has been unbelievable. Like, they really truly appreciate it, just being able to see just the 4 varieties, but I think overall the photography, that one is probably most people where they're just like, I cannot believe my mom did that, or I can't believe my dad, like, what, how did you capture that? So that was pretty wonderful.
Yeah, and what a gift to the families too. I think that's awesome. We are running out of time. I know we could talk about this all day, but I did want to stress just the point about how this doesn't have to be 1 month of the year, right? And I feel like you guys did such a great job. You elevate art projects to make them historical and a learning experience too, which I just think is incredible. But real quick, I did want to ask if there's one piece of advice, if somebody listening wants to try this with their memory care residents, what would you say to them? So I'm going to start, Gregory, with you.
Oh, I would say quickly that start small, start with a single artist. Don't try to go too big in the very beginning. Photography is a great one because if you have an iPhone with a camera, you can take photographs, plan it out and make an example, but just remember it's art. So it doesn't have to be stressful.
Yep. Awesome. Elizabeth? Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Sorry, I thought I clicked. I would just say, don't focus on the outcome. Focus on the moment, because, we have to count those moments of joy with our residents living with dementia, and it just creates so much joy. So don't focus on the outcome, because everybody did it differently and it was all amazing.
Yes, I love that. And Krista?
I would just say embrace it. Don't shy away from it. Just embrace it. Go for it. Keep it person-centered. Modify, and just really give them the space that they need to express. Just really just give them that little time to just, okay, I got this. So that's the best. And then always ask for the story. The story afterwards is always the best.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing. If anybody listening would like these resources, we are open to sharing them. So just message us at Arrow or myself. But thank you guys so much. Thank you to everyone who worked on these projects, the art shows, everything. It's just incredible. So I think we did it. Next week, I'm excited. We're going to be having one of our technology partners on, Cubigos, to talk about the Arrow app and our residents getting into technology. So same place, same time, but Memory Care crew, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Bye.